Hi guys, how are you? Teacher Mari here. We are going to cut to the chase and start with the third topic from unit number 3, connecting contrasting ideas. On other words, we will talk about conjunctions. Well, conjunctions are words or phrases that are used to join two clauses together to form a sentence. We use them every day to express contrast or emphasis, and we have a specific list. Number 1. In spite of or despite. Number 2, even though and although. Number 3, however or nevertheless. And number 4, on the other hand. If you do not know what these words mean in your language, please pause the video, go do some research and then come back. But before going further, we need to address a punctuation rule that applies to all of the conjunctions that we will see shortly. If the conjunction goes at the beginning, there is usually a comma in the middle of the sentence. If it is placed in the middle, no comma is needed. In order for this to make sense, we will dive in directly into our first two conjunctions, in spite of and despite, which are synonyms. These two are used to express an unexpected event, and they follow two simple rules. Number 1, they are only followed by a gerund, ing, or a noun. Number 2, they are placed at the beginning or in the middle of our sentence, taking into account the punctuation rule I mentioned earlier. Let's see some examples. Number 1. I got the part in spite of having no experience. As you can see, in spite of is in the middle of our sentence and there's no comma. Number 2. In spite of or despite having little money, we were very happy. Here we can open our sentence with either conjunction. What we need to remember is to add a comma between the two clauses. Number 3. We enjoyed the trip despite the bad weather. Here we have an event we were not expecting, which is to have enjoyed the trip despite the bad weather, just like past sentences have. Number 4. He continued to work despite being ill. It is thought that because of his illness he would stop working. However, as you can see, he continued. That is an unexpected event as well. Now it's time to talk about even though and although. Although and even though are used to contrast ideas. We use a subject and a verb after them. Even though is slightly stronger and more emphatic than although. Let's see some examples. Number 1. She didn't get the job even though she had all the necessary qualifications. Here we have even though in the middle, followed by a subject and a verb, making a strong emphasis on why she didn't get the job. Number 2. I enjoyed the course, although I would have liked more grammar practice. The same thing happens here, a subject and a verb after although, making emphasis on his thoughts on the course, saying that everything was perfect except for the grammar practice, which he thinks it should have been more. Number 3. Even though I cycle to work, I don't feel very fit. However and nevertheless are next. We use however and nevertheless to show contrast in a sentence. Usually the first half of a sentence contrasts or opposes the second half. These two words are synonyms, and their biggest difference is that nevertheless is a little bit more formal and emphatic than however. Also, nevertheless is not used as often as however in everyday conversations. Let's see some examples. Number 1. I am a vegetarian. However, sometimes I eat fish. Here the contrast lies on me being a vegetarian and the fact that sometimes I eat fish. The first clause opposes the second clause. Number 2. Johnny Depp is a really good actor. However, I didn't enjoy his latest film. Again, contrasts. Number 3. Many know that too much sugar is bad for health. Nevertheless, many continue to eat lots of it every day. As you might have noticed, there is a punctuation rule with these two words. After the first clause, we add a period. Then we place however or nevertheless followed by a comma and the second clause. Now, lastly, on the other hand. On the other hand is used to show two sides of an issue, but it doesn't always describe an opposite situation. When on the other hand is used, the first sentence or paragraph often begins with on the one hand. However, this is not mandatory. Let's read some example paragraphs. Number 1. Living in a cold climate is difficult for some people. On the other hand, there are many fun winter activities such as sledding that you cannot do in a warm climate. Number 2. On the one hand, the development of new technology has made our lives easier. On the other hand, it has also resulted in the development of weapons that can kill large numbers of people. Notice the punctuation rule for on the other hand. After the first clause, we use a semicolon and a comma after on the other hand to differentiate side A from side B of the described issue. Please make sure you practice, and if you encounter any problem or you have any doubt, let me know down on the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future lessons. See you on the next topic.